Hey, what's up guys? How are you doing? Ken's MoneyMatters here as usual. I hope you've had a good Madaraka Day. For those who are in Kenya, happy Independence Day, 62 years, Sometimes when I look at these celebrations, I use them to kind of gauge my growth as a person, because the best marker of time and the best marker of growth are these events that are national, right? So you could be saying, wow, I was born, let's say, I don't know, 90, 91, 92, and how many have we celebrated so far? Where was I last year when this was done? Where will I be next year when this is done? The other good marker that I use, and those of you who have been part of Ken's MoneyMatters should know, is elections, and most of the time when a president assumes. Now, so far, the presidents we've had all serve like 2 terms. So that's around 10 years, right? So most of the time when they do 10 years, I'm like, okay, within no time, this person will be leaving power and someone else will be coming in. What will I have done within that period of time? Because sometimes when you talk about 10 years without context, it doesn't seem like a very short period of time. You seem like, oh, I have so much time. 10 years is such a long time. But if you look at it in the sense of a president gets into power, a president leaves power, and then usually I'm so shocked when I realized, oh, Uhuru got into power when I was just an adult and now he's leaving power, meaning it's been 10 years. Because sometimes you don't have a clear marker of time. So use these events when you're looking at your growth, financially speaking. It does help a lot. Anyways, happy Independence Day, 62 years since Kenya got independence. So if you're 62 years old, you're right on time. You need to figure out how much you've grown. If you've grown at the pace of Kenya, then you're not doing very well. If you've grown ahead of Kenya's pace, then you're doing well economically. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about loans, right? We're going to talk about loans and how you can make millions from loans. Why do I want to talk about loans and debt? Number one, right now, it is a national disaster, the kind of loans people are having, the kind of debt people are having, and the numbers we are looking at in CRB, whereby you are listed and you can't even access credit in the country anymore because people haven't been taught how to manage debt. We have never taught these things, and we can't blame ourselves. You can't blame your parents because they didn't know any better. You can't blame yourself because you are not taught. Just like any other thing in life, finances needs to be taught, but no one taught us finances. We were learning grasshoppers and parts of, I don't know, butterfly and all those things, but no one ever told us, hey, you need to understand how to manage your finances. You need to understand how to manage your money. You need to be in a position to run your life, make decisions that will be financially beneficial to you and financially sound at the same time. No one taught us these things, so we are learning them as we go. So what prompted me to do this video is when Mwangi, who is the Equity Bank CEO, said something that if I give you a loan and the first withdrawal is to your personal account, I think he was talking about business loans. If I give you a loan and your first withdrawal is to your personal account, then don't even bother coming before the panel. Now, I think he was talking about people who have taken business loans and then, they have maybe used the money in doing certain things. But when you look at the record of that particular loan, their first withdrawal went to their personal account. Now, this is a national problem. It's not something such a simple statement. It's a statement that actually shows where we stand with regards to loans. It's a statement that shows where we stand with regards to debt. And so it's not something that people do just willingly or because they just want to mess up. It's because we were not taught how to handle loans. We were not taught how to deal with debt. We were not taught how to handle personal finance. If you don't even know how to handle money that you're paid as a salary that you worked for, how easy is it to mess up when you're giving free money that, okay, it is free money in this sense because then you haven't actually worked for it. Someone is handing you over the money. You're going to spend that money, then pay it back later. Now, do you know how difficult it is to pay back something you've already spent? You've seen the benefit, time has gone, you've probably enjoyed it, you've done whatever you want to do. Now you want to pay it back over, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. That's the most difficult thing. And if your brain can't get around it, it's going to mess you up big time. And that's why we have lots of people who have lots of debts. They're basically drowning in debt. That is a national disaster. It's something that I hope to change. I hope to help people change. It's something that we need to think through. And it's not thinking through because we shouldn't take loans. It's because we need to deal with the fear around loans. We need to deal with the mindset around loans. We need to deal with how we approach loans. Okay? So I'm going to give you these pointers that can help you make millions from your loan, or if you decide to take a loan. How do you make millions from that loan? That's my focus. Number one, fix your mindset around loans. Now, either people are too fearful to take any kind of debt, even if they're really good entrepreneurs and therefore they can actually make money out of a good capital, because at some point you might be coming from a family whereby you don't have any capital. So you have to figure out how to get debt. Using debt to make money is possible, but it requires you to have the right mindset. So fix your mindset. If you have fears around debt, then you need to figure that out and you need to approach it in a way that you can start small. You can figure ways out in which you can start. If you are on the other extreme side whereby you just take any kind of loan that you find around. You just take them without any plan. Again, you need to fix your mindset around loans because you feel like it's free money for you. The first step before you even think of loans is ask yourself, how do I see loans? How do I approach loans? Do I fear them so much? I fear what could happen. Or am I usually just taking them? And do I pay them? Am I disciplined enough to actually pay the loans? Ask yourself what your character and your values are around loans. That's the first step. Fix your mindset. I always say money mindset. Your mindset will drive this whole process. If you have the wrong mindset, the wrong approach towards loans, the wrong mindset, the wrong attitude, wrong perception towards loan, you're not going to make it with loans. So before you even go and take that loan, before you even think about loan, ask yourself, who are you when it comes to loans? Who are you when it comes to debts? Are you the kind of person who will run away when these people come calling for their money? Are you the person who finds it difficult to pay the money after you use it? Are you the person who fears it so much that you never want to touch anyone's money, you never want to touch any debt, and that becomes very difficult because you might not have the capital to then do the things you want to do financially speaking? Are you the person who just goes taking loans wherever you have all these apps in your phone and you're just busy taking them and taking them and taking them and not paying them back? Or sometimes you take them with a good intention, but you never really utilize them properly. You need to know yourself and then fix that mindset first. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You just need to know yourself. You just need to understand your approach. And therefore, you can now employ certain things to kind of limit the damage when you go for a loan. The second thing, don't think of a loan as the first priority. The moment you think of a business idea, you want to go for a loan. The moment you think of something you want to do, you want to go for a loan. No, that's the wrong mindset. What are the other sources you could use before you get to a point where you have to borrow? Because I know there are so many people who have the capacity to generate the cash they need or the capital they need, but because they find loans to be easy, their first stop is the loan. So they run and take the loan very fast, and then now they are in this loop of just taking loans without a very clear direction of what they want to do. So don't go there as your first stop. If you can find other ways of funding whatever you're doing, you are likely going to make more money, make more profits, see more growth, and see more returns from your money, because loans are always expensive. Loans are not free. They're expensive. Then there's the risk of default. There's the risk of the fact that the business doesn't do well. So when you use your own money and things don't go well, you dust yourself up and you start afresh. So don't go for loans as your first stop. Like, you think of an idea, something comes up, an emergency comes up, the first thing is you're thinking of is a debt or a loan. Give yourself an opportunity to think outside the box so that you can figure out other ways that you could raise capital without thinking of loans first. Do not take a loan without a plan. This happens a lot. We have these applications in Kenya which haven't been regulated. There have been a mass entry of these apps in the country that are giving people loans, these credit facilities, without education, without financial education. So what happens? People have access to loans. People have access to loans without access to education about loans. So they end up having loads and loads and loads of money accessible to them with no plan at all. So never ever go and take a loan if you don't have a very clear plan of what you want to do. If you haven't thought through it, you know exactly what you want to do, don't go for a loan. I even tell people who join SACCO with the idea that, hey, I will have access to a loan, without any plan of what they want to do with the loan. So they join a SACCO, you're told that you have an access to 1 million Kenya shillings once you've done some savings. So you get to that point, you have 1 million Kenya shillings as accessible to you as a loan. What do? You're going to take the 1 million Kenya shillings. Why? Because you have access to it, not because you have a plan. Don't take a loan without a very clear plan. Don't take a loan without a very clear written down plan of every single thing you want to do with the loan and how much that will require and how much that will go into that particular business idea or asset or whatever it is you want to do. So make sure there's a very clear plan of what you want to do with the loan. The worst thing you can ever do is take a loan without a written down, clear plan. Number 4, do not take a loan when you're broke, financially speaking. Now, sometimes you have a business idea, right? I could be thinking of the best business in the world. Then what do? I have access to a loan. I go and take a loan, but then financially speaking, at that particular time, I'm also super broke from a personal level. So I have a great business idea, or I even have a business that's struggling, but personally I'm really broke. So when I say really broke, I mean I can't basically take care of my needs. I can't take care of my basic needs. What happens when you take that loan? Naturally, if I have money coming into my account, let's say I have a loan of 1 million Kenya shillings, I'm struggling to pay my bills, I'm struggling to pay my food. What am I going to do? Naturally, I'm going to withdraw that money, I'm going to use it. And I think that's what Mwangi was saying in that post, that if I give you a loan and the first withdrawal goes to your personal account, don't even bother coming back before the panel. And I believe that's the loan panel. Why? Because they know you are using that loan for your personal needs. So avoid taking any loans when you are exceptionally broke. When you know that you are at that point whereby you're basically struggling, you're really trying to make ends meet for you. So sometimes it's good to take a loan when you're in a good position. You have a good financial muscle, you're okay, you're taking care of your needs, such that when the loan comes, you can use it to actually do what you borrowed it for. But it is natural human instincts of survival that once you get that money and your children are not going to eat, then you won't think beyond the box. You won't think out of the box to get any money to try and feed your kids or pay your rent or pay your bills. You will be like, oh, there's money available here. Can you use it? And then one day when I get money, I'll return it back, right? I'll figure it out later. What happens? You never figure it out. So you go into this cycle of debt. The next thing is take a loan for assets that cash flow. Take a loan for something that's going to give you money that can help you pay back the loan. Don't just take a loan for some weird stuff like buying land lying fallow. You know, you have this open land in Kitengela, you have this open land at the river, you have this land you're buying in some rural area, you've taken a loan for it and now you want to pay this loan back for no reason. There's nothing that asset will be producing to help you pay back the loan. Make sure whatever it is you're going to do is in a position to give you that cash flow so that you can sustain even the minimum payment of that loan. That way you're not threatened in any way. If there's minimum payment going on from a business or whatever, then you're fine. If you want to pay more, you can now figure out how to pay more. But at least the minimum payment is covered naturally by whatever it is you've taken that loan for. So make sure you have something in your mind, an idea that will help you use that loan to cash flow and pay back at least the minimum amount. Do your research before you take a loan. One mistake that most people have done is that you find loads of old people who are retiring, taking huge loan or taking all their money, in this case it could be their money as well, and putting into a business. So you go out there, you haven't done research, you've never done a business. One day you are at 60, at 50, you decide, I'm going to take a loan and then start a business. And then you haven't done any analysis, you haven't done your maths, you haven't seen exactly how much you'll be making from that business or that particular venture to be able to pay back your loan. So make sure you do the maths clearly, do your analysis clearly, do your market research so well, be at least 90% sure of what you want to do. Be not just sure, but be knowledgeable of what exactly you want to get into before you go for that loan. Then this is also very important. Do not take a huge loan for a business you've never done. Don't go taking these massive loans, taking 2, 3, 4 million. You want to pour it into a business that you've never done in your life. Don't do that. A lot of people have come to me crying that they lost so much money. They're paying loans that they don't see anything from it. Why? Not because they actually wasted it, not because they were indisciplined, not because they just used the money for something else. They actually used the money for that particular business. But what happened? They had never done that business before. They had no idea how to run that business. They had no idea how the challenges that could come with that business. They had no idea if that business could hemorrhage money. They had no idea the expenses that could come with that business. They had no idea every single thing about that business, mathematically speaking. What happens? They used the money in that sense, in that business, but the business was not in a position to return the money. So you have this huge loan, but you can't actually explain what you've done with it. So no, don't take a huge loan for a business that you've never done before. It's actually better that you've done some business, you run it for years, and now you're just taking a loan to bump it up because you know the processes, you know the outcome, you know how it goes, you know how it's gonna cash flow. Then the other thing, stop telling people when you have a loan. Stop telling all your relatives, all your friends, everyone around you that you have a loan. What will happen? Your grandmother will mess a razor blade. Your grandfather will be dying in hospital. Your mom and your dad will be doing I don't know what. Your sibling will be struggling with school fee and therefore you have to help them. Don't tell people about your loan. Don't go telling people and advertising it to everyone, to all and sundry, that you have money in your account. It doesn't go out well with you. It doesn't work well, especially in a country whereby we pay a lot of black tax and also we have a lot of blackmail within our own friendships and families. People are always ready to use the money that you have. There are people who are just willing and ready to help you use that loan, but they will never be ready and willing to help you pay it back when shit hits the fan. Keep your financial records tight. Keep your books, keep your financial records. Make sure everything is clearly explained, clearly written down so that you can exactly tell what's going into the business, what's coming out, what are you using to pay back the loan. Keep your financial records. Don't come here saying, oh, I'll use the money for the business for sure. I just don't know how. I also haven't paid my loan, but I don't know where the money is going to. Keep your financial records tight. Keep your books really tight. Make sure you know every incoming, every outgoing, why, and what you're using to pay back the loan. So if you're poor at your personal finances, then you're going to be poor at managing business finances. Don't lie to yourself. That's why I always tell people, figure out your personal finances first. Manage your personal finances first. Run the business that is you, then run another business. That's how you're going to succeed when it comes to loans. Then, following on that point, keep the proceeds of the business and your personal issues separate. Keep those accounts completely separate if you want to keep those records. Make sure that you're not mixing personal and business money, then you end up not knowing exactly where the money is going to. And then avoid topping up your loan unnecessarily. So some people just go and top up because they have the facility. They had 500,000 today, then when they see that's going down, they go and top up. They don't even know why they're topping up. Avoid topping up loans. These are just traps to keep you in the cycle. Don't top up a loan before you use that loan for the purpose it was intended, and you've seen results, you've paid some of it back, you've reduced the amount of money you're paying, you reduce the interest you're paying, and there's a very good reason for you to top it up. But don't just go and top up your loan for no reason. And last one, avoid multiple loans from multiple sources. That is what keeps you in this loop. You get so confused, you get so harangued by all these people, you get so harangued by the need for payment. Avoid all these multiple sources. If you can't get a proper loan somewhere, avoid loans for now, but if you can get a proper loan, then go to a single provider, deal with that single provider. It's much easier, much more structured, much more cleaner than having all these people in your head trying to get their money from you at some point, because at some point it can go really bad. I hope this helps you turn that loan that you're taking into millions of money, because it can. Take this seriously. Until next time, I'm out.